This time, we are going to do solving linear equations with positive numbers. We will have negative numbers in our follow-up work, so there's going to be another video that will be posted. Now, for this work, for solving linear equation, we are to take note of the things we learned from our previous lessons. One, we'll have to remember order of operations, and it's very important also that we get to review things we learned from signed numbers. This time, we are going to orient ourselves with the materials that we are going to use for this lesson. Here we have our unit tiles, and each one is always worth 1. This one is an X. They can represent any amount, but every X piece always is the same. In other words, if we say that this X represents 7, then so does this one. We will also make use of another unit tile, but this time it's a different colored tile, but it's the same. It looks the same with our unit, but this one will be equivalent to -1. Now let's play a game. What is on one side of this black line must always balance or be equal to what is on the other side of this black line. Here we have an X, and on the other side we have units. We have 4 units. We can see that the right side here has 4 units. We also know that both sides balance or are equal. This X here can represent any amount. What amount must it represent in this case? Well, again, this is our X, and this one, of course, is our 4 units. We'd like to write this down, but we'll also use symbols here. This black line is the center of what must balance. As long as it's there, it means both sides are equal. So we will represent the black line as an equal sign. On the left side, we had an X piece. And on the right side, we have 4. So we will write this as X equal to 4. Now, when we have an equation like X equal to 4, it could not be easier to see what X needs to be to make the statements true. It tells us exactly what X needs to be. Now, let's clear our math. Let's take another equation. We have an X, and then it will be accompanied by 5 units. And on the other side, we will have 8 units. Here again, we have our X, and then it's with 5 units. On the other side, we have 8. How can we represent that in our writing? We have X, 5, and 8. So since X and 5 are placed together, we will use an addition sign. So we have X plus 5 is equal to 8. Now we need to figure out what X can represent to make this equation true. Well, you probably know that X represents 3. What we would like to do though is to be able to see the solution just like we saw the last answer was X is equal to 4. There was nothing much to figure out there. What we would like to see is that X is not alone. There are also 5 units here with it. What could I do to this side to get the X piece alone? We can take away these 5 units. So there. But now if this was a balance, the right side would be too heavy, and the sides would no longer be equal. If I take away 5 units from the left side, and I at the same time take away 5 units from the right side, then it will still be balanced, and the left and the right sides will be equal. So same thing on the right side, we subtracted 5 units. So here we have 5 minus 5, that's equivalent to 0, and 8 minus 5 will give us a 3. So that means we are left with X is equal to 3, which is what we thought to begin with. Let's do the writing. We had that X plus 5 is equal to 8. Then we subtracted 5 from both sides, and this means we did X plus 5 minus 5 is equal to 8 minus 5. So if we simplify, we see that we have x plus 0 on the left and just 3 on the right. So that's x is equal to 3. Our original equation was x plus 5 is equal to 8. We believe the answer is that x is equal to 3. To verify if this is correct, we can evaluate the equation for x is equal to 3. So let's do the writing. We have here x plus 5 is equal to 8, and we'll replace this x with a 3 here. So of course, 3 plus 5 gives us 8, and that balances our equation. Is there another way we could get rid of these 5 units? We could add 5 negative units. But before that, in order for us to have a more organized workspace, I will line up those units that we have there. What we do on one side must be done also on the other side. So here we have negative 1 on our left, and our right we also have another negative 1. By adding a negative 1 for every positive unit we have here, it actually takes away our 5 units. There, another negative 1, another negative 1, another negative 1. This pair of positive unit and negative unit is what we call a zero pair. So we'll take away the zero pairs in our equation. We are left with x, which is equivalent to 3 units. How would this look in our writing? Again, we have x plus 5 is equal to 8. And what we just did, we added negative 5 to every side of our equation. So we have negative 5 there, and then negative 5 also on the other side. Now we already know that adding a negative is the same as subtracting a positive. This is just another way to look at this. Both ways actually work the same. So there, 5 positive plus negative 5 will give us 0. And then 8 plus negative 5 will give us 3. So it's actually just the same. X is equal to 3. Now we can do other examples. Guys, there might be times when the x is on the right side and then the numerical value is on the left side. That's fine. It's just actually the same. So if you have this, you have x is equal to 5. It's actually just the same as saying 5 is equal to x. Or again, x is equal to 5. So this is our work for solving linear equations with positive numbers.